got a 3-page document from the IOD's Institute of Directors, which breaks down the TPPA agreement, and I was going to read this paragraph to get your view on it. It's about investment disputes. It says it contains provisions to protect private investors' rights in members' countries so they are not violated by state action. It allows private parties to go into arbitration and seek compensation for a breach of TPA investment obligation. In effect, says a high hurdle is and unlikely to be breached if government acts in good faith for legitimate public policy reasons, follow a proper process and do not discriminate on the basis of nationality. New Zealand has a similar provision in other international agreements, including the China FTA. To date, no case of arbitration has been taken pursuant to these agreements. So that's their breakdown of investment disputes.
Oh, sure.
So if you look at the history of investment disputes, they started way back in the 40s and 50s. And it wasn't until relatively recently, last sort of 15 years, that it was seen to be able to be used by corporations to do underhanded kind of things against regulations that governments had decided to take in the public interest. Since that time, there has been a massive escalation in the numbers of ISDS cases, and they are covering all sorts of different things of public interest. So I think it's either willfully ignorant or quite naive to assume that we won't be sued because of, just being good to corporations. The New Zealand government can't afford to be sued, so we will always be looking over our shoulders and not doing things. But what we're trying to say is that in the 21st century, with the challenges that we're going to be facing, there are definitely going to be rules where we have to come back on the things that we're allowing to happen with pollution and mining and fracking and all of those sorts of things. We cannot just assume that we won't be sued.
There's a major difference between the China Free Trade Agreement and the Trans-Pacific Partnership. The China one restricts investor state to things that are already in place.
So China's already part of this at this point.
Yeah.
No, they're not, but because we've already got an FTA with them, they now get the rights of the TPP because they have this agreement that is, I can't remember the name of it, no.
You think this investment disputes paragraph is oversimplified and a little bit naive?
Yes.
So we've seen the LTA.
But I could finish. The TPPA agreement, the China agreement is for contracts and things that are already in place. The TPPA agreement looks to things that could be in place. To give you an example, Billcom, an American company, wanted to build a quarry in Nova Scotia. It was over the city's groundwater supply. The city and the state, the city and the state turned down the application for environmental reasons. It didn't meet their environmental qualifications. Billcom sued the Canadian government for $300 million for loss of profits on something they hadn't even started, and they won. That's where the American corporations are much more aggressive than the Chinese. The Chinese, they're subtle, they want to work with us, want to make things work, and we're not rocking the boat, they're not rocking the boat. Americans just get stuck in.
I will take just 2 further questions. If we can keep questions and answers brief, though, just in the interest of time. Vicky, and then Ian.
Thanks. Just in terms of the things that we are likely to be impacted by.
Louder, please.
I know that I can. In terms of the things that we are likely to be impacted by, smoke-free legislation, obviously we are involved in. We will probably at some stage want to seek priority for electric vehicles over all vehicles. We want to take action on some agrochemicals. Obviously medicines affects all of us, potentially fracking, oil drilling, for sure. I'm aware that the situation in Canada and the US makes the TPP slightly less likely than it may otherwise have been. But just in terms of what you're seeking from us, because I like the information that gets to states so that the public have the information, rather than sort of a token thing of declaring ourselves TPPA free, which doesn't really make us TPPA free. It's kind of false advertising almost. What would be, in terms of getting that information so that people have it, so that we know the impact of that investor state dispute on us as a community, what would be the most practical thing that we could do in response to that, rather than a sort of symbolic label which doesn't really matter?
It's important, that symbolism. It's like having a nuclear-free Christchurch. Let's make a statement. Let's show some courage.
Just as a matter of protocol for the meeting, if we can please keep the speaking just to those seated at the table, and that's just a rule about standing orders. So if the people sitting at the table would like to respond, please.
Councillor, I totally understand what you're saying, that a symbolic action is merely symbolic. In terms of what we can actually do, I mean, other than having public meetings and educating the public on things like that, there is very little. This is being taken out of our hands, and that's precisely the point to why we're here, because we don't believe that there is a mandate to do this without us.
But what would you like us, the council, to do that this makes difficult for general members of the public to do? That would be helpful, especially in that investor state dispute area.
Well, I think that saying that the TPP is not acceptable in its current format with the ISDS, if you know that the European Parliament has absolutely refused to have ISDS in TTIP. Yep. So this is, there is a precedent for this. I think that would be a good idea, but I do think that the symbolism of TPP in Christchurch makes a massive statement, and I think that those things
Thank you. If we can now move on to the final question, if it can be just one question from Yanni, please.
First off, can I thank you for all the people that come to support you today and what is I just wanted to check in terms of Christchurch, in terms of what the TPPA could mean in terms of asset sales. So there has been in the media speculation, for example, that City may be purchased by a French company. Are there any risks to us as a city having sovereignty over the asset sales if they go ahead, in terms of what the TPPA will actually mean in that regard, whether it's employment or labour relations or environmental?
So there is a city in Poland, or Poland has been sued and lost over a decision to privatise, to do asset sales, and then they reneged on that. They decided not to. The company that was lined up to buy the whatever it was, which I can't remember at the moment, has sued them and won against that country. So even just having said that you're going to do asset sales, and then if you decide not to, I mean, I know that that's already in the long-term plan, the 3-year course of asset sales.
No. It has to be released and it does not apply asset
sales. So there are effects in terms of asset sales. There will be push for private, public-private partnerships, which are often just a system of lending money from private corporations, where they end up getting interest back. So, yeah, I'm not sure if I'm answering your question.
Yeah, well, just if we wanted to, if the decision was made to sell it, and we wanted to sell it to a local company, would the TPPA prevent us from being able to control the
It wouldn't prevent you, but it would open yourself to, open the council up to being sued by an international corporation because they didn't have, weren't accepted in the process, or it might, if there's a corporation, there's 1,608 corporations that are party to the deal. Remember that there's only 12 countries, but there's hundreds of corporations that are party to the TPPA. 1,608 operating in New Zealand at the moment. So that if you chose a Christchurch company, for argument's sake, to sell to, someone else here will say it, that impacts on our profits, because we might have had a chance, or that we might be doing something similar.
Yeah, so to say that you wanted a Christchurch company to buy it would be a barrier
It
to,
opened you up to lawsuits.
to public companies.
I didn't mean lawsuits, but TPPA suits.
Great, thank you very much. Now, I'm keen to bring this question and answer session to a close. I'm sure there are people in the room that could raise all afternoon, but in the interest of time, we do need to bring the Q&A to a close. Thank you very much indeed for your presentation. It's great, regardless of what the issue is, to see the public gallery so full. So fantastic.
Thank you very much.
Right, thank you. I've got a draft resolution here that I'll put up to start some discussion on this. So the wording I've got here is that the committee ask and encourage the council to consider declaring Christchurch City Council territorial area a TPP-free zone.
Yay!
And to, if I can call for order, please, thank you. And to decide what, if any, statements it would want to make regarding the TPPA. And that council encourages further debate and public awareness of this matter. I'm happy to move that as a resolution. Dan Livingstone, as Deputy Chair of the Committee, is happy to second that. Is there any debate?
Thank you. I'd just like to say that I am in full support of the Council encouraging further debate and public awareness of this matter. But based on the conversation and the issues raised by Councillor Buck and what we heard from our speakers at the front, I can't support the top. I mean, unless we can do something that is actually able to make some tangible difference, I see little point in the resolution. It's a shame that it's put up there as one.
Let's respond to that. Come on. So, the committee has been encouraging council to consider declaring CCC territorial area a TPP-free zone. That'd be item 1. Clause 2, the council decide what, if any, statements it would want to make regarding the TPPA. And clause 3, that council encourages further debate and public awareness of this matter. That'll make it far easier for you to vote according to views. Paul.
I'm actually a little bit maybe ignorant to actually all the issues that are in the TPPA, and I don't know the answer to every information. Well, I've had 3-page read on it, I know a little bit about it, but there's a lot of, to me, a lot of grey areas that I just don't know enough about. I'm just wondering if we do need a full workshop on this here.
And that might result in a slight change to wording again. So the council consider declaring CCC territorial, deciding what, if any, statement. So council consider deciding what, if any, statement, and the council consider encouraging further debate and public awareness. And that means that it's the council, when making those decisions, that has the responsibility to be informed around that. And if a workshop is the way to be informed, then that may well be the way forward.
I just think that so there's quite a band of views around this here, and I'd really like to fully understand what it is. And that way there we can actually make an informed decision. And I think that's what everybody here wants, is an informed decision.
So do you want to move an amendment that council has attended a workshop prior to the council meeting where the matter is considered?
It's really important. I don't know what the other members here actually feel. If they feel they've got enough information on how exactly what you want to actually read the whole agreement.
We can organise that.
And it's very long. That's what I'm saying. It's,
And the analysis of it is being analysed, so it is kind of really cool. And I would really like, I understand it's not popular, but I think people want real information.
it's,
For example, I said we were probably get two questions, then the people may try to say, well, they're those things. And we need to make sure that sacred dispute thing, it's a scary thing. And we need to make sure that what we're saying here is actually based on real fact. And that's what I'd like to be able to get, because we've been waiting for Global Government New Zealand to do an analysis of this. I don't think we've got that now, just email it back here in Canada. I know they were doing it because it's a huge piece of work. I like that actually sort of debated in public and everybody wants to come and be aware of it, so that all of us actually know the impacts. Because the difficulty with this is that we don't know the impact this is
I think that's my point, is actually that I've got one analysis which is 3 pages long with a multi-thousand page document. And I think it is oversimplified, and I'd really like to understand all the implications.
Yeah, so did you want to move an amendment to what we've got up there to reflect the comments that we're making?
Well,
Oh, just can I say, let's just
Tim,
follow on. I mean, exactly the same as you, but you know, this is so important. Could we ask the minister or one of the in his ministry or whatever to come to us? Because this is
If we can bring some order to the meeting, only those seated at the table need to be part of the discussion.
Because the reason why I ask this is you've got 3 pages out of a huge document, which is an overview of the information that you've got. I'm quite ignorant to it. You read bits and pieces, you pick bits and pieces up, but we've actually got to know the facts as best we can. I don't think anyone does.
Well, I've sent you a link in an email to TPP Legal, which is Jane Kelsey and a whole team of experts, and they are doing analyses. They've got 5 released already. They're going to be analysing the whole agreement as time permits, and those analyses are really even-handed from respected people in the community who have nothing to gain either way. And I suggest that those are things that you look at. We could certainly organise a workshop and have some of those people come down.
But one of the next expert analyses that's coming out in the very near future is on local government. And if we can liaise with you on when that comes out, and that could be one of the focuses of the workshop.
Okay, so just as a matter of standing orders, we now need to keep the discussion among councillors. I'm keen to bring this to a close so that we can move on, and we can come out of this with a clear and concise resolution that achieves what we need to achieve. Paul, did you want to go any further on that? Or?
Look, I think prior, that could be the outcome of the workshop, which is great. But I think prior to that, we just actually resolved to actually do a workshop on the effects of the TPPA. And from that, we can actually make an informed decision on what the outcome we want to see.
So you would amend the resolution by saying the committee requests an information workshop. A public information workshop.
We will ask Jane Kelsey and other experts, and also INFAT and government.
Yeah.
So just thinking of the way we'll take this resolution, just as people are thinking of debate and any further amendments and so on, we will take 1, 2 and 3 as a separate vote.
That don't quite make sense.
Yeah.
To the outcome of the workshop. So could we perhaps have a information workshop which would be open to the community and ask Jane Kelsey and INFAT or whoever is the other people to present facts on TPPA and local government. And